Hi, this is James from the Big Easy, the host of the Who Dat Temple on Twitch.tv and on iVlog, and you are watching WGS-TV. It's good!
Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on Spreaker.com and YouTube.com/WrestlingGamer and ZFanksTV. And welcome to the very first Monday Night Raw review for 2015. I hope you guys had a great holiday season, as did I, for the end of 2014. But now, guys, we're in 2015, so let's get started talking about Monday Night Raw from last night. Let me introduce the panel for this week's Monday Night Raw review. First off, ladies and gentlemen, he is the host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, which makes its return this week, ladies and gentlemen, on SoundCloud.com. He is the hardcore one himself, Rick Head. Rick, how you doing?
Well, we're doing good, and I'm going to tell you, after watching Raw, we're going to have to do a lot more on just SoundCloud. We're also going to be on HardcoreWrestlingRadio.com, and I'm going to need an overdose of fuck it all this week.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, after what the product they put out last night, ladies and gentlemen, he is our resident music mogul over on YouTube.com/LanceMossTV. He is the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
Last night was a pothole in the road to WrestleMania.
Yep, definitely a pothole, and not just one, but I want to think about 1,000 potholes in the road to WrestleMania. And ladies and gentlemen, he is the man from South Park, simply known as Cartman, and not the Cartman from the Stick of Truth, but our Cartman. Cartman, what's up?
Not much.
Anyway, guys and gals, let's get to Monday Night Raw, the return of the Authority, and let's just say this, overall, it was what I expected it to be. It was the Authority basically throughout the night getting their revenge on Team Cena, except for the Big Show, since the Big Show turned on Team Cena at Survivor Series, and that's just basically what it was. You know, they rewarded Seth Rollins by putting him in the championship match at the Royal Rumble, which I really don't think they should have done that. You know, a lot of people want to see the definitive end to Cena versus Lesnar, and now, Rick, with the inclusion of Seth Rollins in that Royal Rumble main event, to me, it just screams screw job. Something's going to be happening in that matchup that we can't even foresee, but it's safe to say that something is going to happen in that match.
Oh, absolutely, and I think that's the whole purpose of it. If Rollins does not get the win in that match somehow, he's obviously going to immediately cash in that Money in the Bank right there. So I think we could see Rollins taking the title home by the end of Royal Rumble one way or another. Hook or crook.
The start of the screw job started with the opening match on Monday Night Raw this week with the Intercontinental Championship on the line. Dolph Ziggler defending against a guy who never really lost it. I'll give him that. Bad News Barrett. And a lot of fans are thinking, you know, since Bad News Barrett was such on a good push before his injury, that he deserved another shot, and probably deserves a bigger spot than what he's got right now. But with him just fresh off injury, I think he really needs to work back into that role. But again, this is what I mean when the start of the screw jobs. Ziggler would win with a crucifix pin, and then Barrett would beat him all over around the ring, and then Kane would come out, corporate Kane would come on and said, oh, in the confusion and the excitement, I forgot to mention that this was a 2 out of 3 falls match. Barrett would then hit the Wasteland, Michael Cole, the Wasteland. Get the name of the moves right, Michael Cole. You're supposed to be play-by-play. Get the fucking names right of the moves. And we'd pick up the victory, and then it would be a distraction. The final fall would be Kane distracting Ziggler. Ziggler would super kick him off the ring apron. Barrett would hit the bullhammer elbow and become the new Intercontinental Champion. And Lance, like I said, started the screw jobs. You know, we saw it coming, and that's just something I hate when you can see it coming from a mile away.
Yeah, and especially when they do it so blatantly, it's like, come on, WWE, if this is what we're in for, come on.
Yeah, I received a lot of negative feedback on the Facebook page last night. I can tell you that a lot of fans were not happy with the way the product was going.
It makes it look. Let's say it makes it look like the storylines are written by toddlers. How blatantly shit is. It's like, how do you, if you don't see it, it's like you don't know what you're paying attention to, because they make it painstaking and obvious to the point where it's like it's saddening.
It's very saddening, to be honest. And but what's saddening right now is the way they're using the Ascension right now in Victor and Connor. Victor and Connor, most notably, one of the longest reigning NXT tag team champions, known for being really dominant style of tag team. And what have they done since their debut? First week, they beat Damian Mizdow and The Miz, which was just a beatdown. SmackDown, local jobbers, and once again, local jobbers on Monday Night Raw. And Rick, I know that I know you don't see too much in them. Carmen, I know that it wasn't you. It was actually Chris who doesn't see too much into Victor and Connor. But do you agree with the way they're trying to build up the Ascension right now on the main roster by having them just going against jobbers and local talent and stuff like that?
If WWE wants to build them up, they got to put them against legitimate talent. They did the same thing with Rusev. They put him against jobber after jobber, and it actually hurts the way people feel about the talent, because it makes them look bad. The fact that they can't even face legitimate WWE talent.
Exactly, and a lot of fans who have been like me have been waiting for the Ascension to debut on the main roster because they are such a good tag team, and then followed the Ascension during NXT and watched their huge run that they have. There's got to be a lot of the guys like me who are disappointed with what WWE is doing right now. They need to do more right now with Victor and Connor instead of just having them go against local unnamed talent. I mean, that first guy in the green singlet, man, that dude was like, I've taken poops bigger than that guy. I'll tell you that right now. I don't know if y'all needed that visual, but you kind of get what I'm saying with that. Roman Reigns and the Big Show. Rick, what are they doing with these two?
The feud I thought was starting to work. The feud was working for a little bit. I hope the feud does not go all the way to the Royal Rumble, because if it does, that's going to be a long feud. That's going to be very boring, because by the time it gets to there, it's going to be very drawn out. I mean, we have another 3 weeks before that finally hits?
Yeah.
And I don't want to see that going that long. This should have ended, last week. This should not continue to go on. It should have ended at it should have ended at SmackDown when Reigns dumped the desk on top of him. It should have been done, and they should have moved on to something else. But it's just going to continue to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And they're going to accumulate to some huge match at Royal Rumble that nobody's just going to be like, yeah, okay, whatever. To the writers are like, wow, this is going to be excellent. This is going to be great. And it's like, no, it's not. Because the elastic has stretched and stretched and stretched, and it's broken off. Nobody gives a shit. It's who cares who won by then?
Well, let's put it like this. With the amount of build that they're doing right now, they need to put out, and if this is leading towards Royal Rumble, which a lot of fans out there are really thinking that this is where it's going to go. They're going to go to the Royal Rumble. They're building towards a Royal Rumble match. They need to do something really good at the Royal Rumble. If they go out there and just lay an egg out there, which WWE 9 times out of 10 has been noted for doing on their main roster product as of late, and it's really just going to piss off a lot of fans, because, why in the world would you put in this much build into an angle and go out there and just shit all over it?
I don't think it's going to matter. You could even have the greatest match in the world. By then, it's not going to make a difference, because I'm tired. We've all talked about how many times we've seen so many people, and it's like, enough is enough. And it's like, yeah, it was a great match. We've even seen some great matches between 10 tag teams, and it's like, yeah, that was a great match, but it's like, I don't want to see it again. Time to move on, and you don't pay attention to it. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I've seen that match before, and because you've already seen that match, you go take a piss, or you go get a drink, and, something else. Even if it's a pay-per-view, I've done that. Because you've seen the match 5, 6, 7 times on Raw or on SmackDown.
Exactly. So why put it out more? So regardless of which, they need to do something big at the Royal Rumble to consummate the feud. If they don't, If they don't, it's just going to lead into a lot of fans just getting pissed off at the main roster product. Remember, I just said main roster product doesn't include the NXT product, which right now, hands down, is a much better product than what they're doing on the main roster. Natalya and Nikki Bella. No, it's just something that really confuses me right now. Is when did the face turn happen for Paige? Did they do that on Total Divas? You know, the crap show that I will not even watch that somehow got named Best Reality Show on E? And first of all, how can you call it a reality show, to be honest? But, well, from a storyline perspective, you can kind of get what WWE's trying to do. They're trying to tie in what they're doing to Total Divas on their flagship show, Monday Night Raw, which is hands down their most watched product on the main roster. And it kind of makes sense to want to try to include that, you know, take their Total Divas product and kind of include that in an angle in the storyline. Will it work? I don't know, but honestly, in my opinion, Lance, I want them to do more with Paige, because what they've been doing with her right now is really just been taking her down a level, and I don't agree with that at all. I mean, Paige is not only extremely hot, but she's also extremely talented, and to see her just doing what she's been doing as of late, especially in the end of 2014, it's just a disappointment, because we know Paige can do a lot better than what she's doing right now, and it's just, you know, it's frustrating to see.
Yeah, and when it comes, honestly, I don't know when the whole turn happened, but I do watch Total Divas. I quite enjoy it, and it say something. Any trolls out there, say something.
Tisk.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure XTC69 is going to be typing up a comment or something like that. But
bring it on.
You watch Total Divas. You watch Total Divas. No.
And I got something for you right down here.
Oh, that's
God.
a bit I didn't need. Thank you.
Oh,
anyway, up next we had Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, and again, special guest referees J&J Security. What a total ball of shit that was.
Mm-hmm.
That they did, Cartman. I mean, unbelievable. If anybody out there was surprised that JB Noble fast counted Eric Rowan in that match, I mean, what the hell are you on? You know what I mean, Cartman?
Mm-hmm. It's sad that as soon as you saw J&J Security come out, you knew it was just going to be fuck over Eric Rowan at all costs. It's sad that, again, they have to make it so blatantly obvious.
Yeah. But I'll still say this: at least Joey Mercury and Jamie Noble are on TV again. I mean, at least that's something. But up next, probably one of the best matches of the night, in my opinion, and that's the ambulance match between Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt. Rick, I am thoroughly convinced that Dean Ambrose will leap off of anything for an elbow drop spot in the WWE.
Yeah, I have to agree. These two have definitely had some great matches in the past. And Dean Ambrose definitely is showing that he is truly hardcore. He does some incredible matches. He is probably, you know, like the Mick Foley, Terry Funk of, you know, the new millennium. But again, with all due respect to these two guys, it's coming to the same thing. I mean, we've been seeing these guys do these same type of matches over the past couple of weeks. We've seen the boot camp match. We've seen the Christmas tree match. And all these matches are just, it's like, it was like not a bad match, but the ambulance match, considering you saw all the other previous matches, it was just, yeah, it was nonchalant for me. You know, even though it was the best match of the night. But if you took it to all the previous matches and look at all the matches that Dean Ambrose has had with Bray Wyatt, how good was it?
Well, considering what we had to compare it to last night on Monday Night Raw, it was definitely...
Yes, again, absolutely, it was the best match of the night. But, again, we're talking about they're just doing it's the repetitiveness.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they really need to end the feud. A lot of people thought they would end the feud at TLC, and for one, I would agree that it should have ended at TLC. The boot camp match was okay for what it was. the Miracle on 34th Street fight to cap off Raw Christmas was good. It was good. Do we, was the ambulance match absolutely necessary for to end the feud? No. Will they end the feud with the ambulance match? I'm going to say, 95% probability that no, they will not end it with the ambulance match. They're going to keep going until they'll have a match for saying the only way to win is to kill your opponent. But WWE will probably never do that. But it seems to be the direction that they're going. The Usos and Naomi taking on The Miz, Damian Mizdow, and Alicia Fox. First off, can anybody really explain to me what happened backstage between Alicia Fox and Naomi and that insane scream that Alicia Fox is doing? Where's Daphne, the Queen of Scream, when we need her? I mean, really, if they really want to switch her back to being the crazy, hot Alicia Fox, I don't have a problem with that. But they really need to work on it a little bit more than just doing the insane screaming what she was doing when she was attacking Naomi. And what was Cameron doing in the shot? I mean, I can understand Summer Rae. I can understand Emma. I don't understand Cameron and what she was doing over there. Those two are supposed to be hating each other, and she was just there in the shot. Doing what? I don't understand the placement of
Photo op.
Anyway, to the matchup in itself, we don't see Naomi or Alicia Fox actually get involved in the match. It was just the Miz 95% of the way, and the Usos. Mizdow would have his short little run because the fans are really over on Mizdow. They really want to see him much. And again, the way that Mizdow and WWE, they just dangle that carrot. We're going to give you just a little bit nibble of Mizdow, but we're going to put the Miz back in there just to piss everybody off. And you know what? That formula is working. It's working. And it would be the Miz rolling up Jimmy Uso off the distraction. He nearly ran into Naomi and stopped himself, and then Miz would roll him up and hook the ties to get the win. And then WWE would post a weird Vine out there. I even posted it on the Facebook page. I don't know if you guys had the chance to see that yet, but I did post it up on the WGS-TV Facebook page. It was Miz and Alicia Fox kind of doing a Hulk Hogan thing and high-fiving each other, and then, of course, Miz, now being the stunt double, just did it like that with a shadow person. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that was, but at least it's something. At least it's something, and anyway, because I know there wasn't a lot to talk about from that match. We were originally advertised to have Seth Rollins and Ryback, and with the smell of screw job in the air, it was almost expected for Kane to come out, Lance, and actually just turn this into a handicap match.
Yeah. Grant, I was just coming back from the bathroom, so I didn't see the whole little start to this. I was like, oh, crap, here we go.
And then you wanted to go right back to the bathroom.
That's where I left to go get food.
Pretty much right.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how it happened. Now Ryback would shell shock Kane, and then it would take not one, but two curb stomps by Rollins to get the victory over Ryback. And again, a lot of people are wondering, when is Sting going to come out? When is Sting going to stop all of this? When they're going to actually insert Sting and start building up Sting versus Triple H, and like a lot of people want to see at WrestleMania 31. Do we see him during Big E and Adam Rose? To tell you what, I don't even know what I saw with
Royal Rumble.
All right, Royal Rumble. But
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Why the hell was Adam Rose and Big E Lanks in the main event? Why?
I don't know. I think maybe to put Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, who are just ridiculous, to say the least, out there. And then when they would go to do that powerbomb blockbuster finisher, I seriously don't think Cesaro had Big E high enough up on his shoulders for Kidd to do the full blockbuster, because it just looked like Tyson Kidd just leaped over Big E, and it was just a power bomb by Cesaro. That's the way it looked to me. But I think that was pretty much the only reason why they did that, to apparently now start a feud now between Cesaro, Tyson Kidd, who
And the New Day.
and the New Day. And oddly enough, I heard the rumors of what their tag team name is supposed to be for Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, and it harkens back to He-Man, because they were going to call them the Masters
of the Universe.
Yes.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, that is the rumored name for Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. I saw it on eWrestlingNews.com. I don't know if that's legit or not, but that's what they put out there. And so if you guys think that out there that that's a good tag team name, I definitely want to hear what you guys say about that. And then the finale of Monday Night Raw, it's been John Cena Appreciation Night, dubbed by Stephanie McMahon. And, of course, they would celebrate the big moment from last week when John Cena was forced to bring the Authority back because of the threat to Edge's health from Seth Rollins and the Big Show. And then they would bring out the other members of Team Cena, and it said they were first going to suspend Rowan for 30 days, they were going to suspend Ryback for 60 days, and then Ziggler for 90 days. They said, you know what, no, we're not going to suspend you. You guys are all fired, and you can all thank John Cena. And then next, we would hear that familiar Old Glory Patriot theme music, and then we'd have confetti, and it was just so damn cheesy, Cartman. I wanted to vomit.
It's one of those things that somebody needs to fire all of WWE creative now. It's terrible. It's cheesy. Everything is predictable. It's sad.
But now we're left with what they're going to be doing now. I mean, they were first building up a big angle between Ryback and Rusev, which we thought would culminate at Royal Rumble with the United States Championship on the line. They fire him. Ziggler, we would think, would get a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship, and he's gone. And Eric Rowan, they seem to be building up a feud with him and Luke Harper, and now he's gone. So I really don't understand WWE's creative, and their thinking behind and the logic behind what they're doing, because it really makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, you're building up these guys in certain angles, and then you fire them on the first Monday Night Raw of 2015. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand the creative thinking behind it. But anyway, as I know we got some more people who have posted up their thoughts. I'm about to pull up my Facebook because I forgot to copy and paste them. And one of the guys who posted up their comments, their review on the Facebook page, if my Facebook app would actually start working properly, as James from the Big Easy. James could not join us on this week's Monday Night Raw review because unfortunately he was too busy apparently eating hamburgers and building statues in tribute to homeless people in the Who Dat Temple. I'm probably sure I'm gonna get some feedback from James on that one. But anyway, as my Facebook app needs to work right for it to pop up. Come on, Facebook app on my LG phone, which I probably need to replace because of the fact that it's pretty much getting outdated. Okay. Anyway, let's start with James. His review, he gives the Monday Night Raw 2 out of 5. His thoughts: the ending was bad. Why end it that way? I could have seen Sting return to save the day, but no. I see something next week or the week after to have all three of them back. Show was boring all over. Why is Paige a face again? Why will she go for the Divas Championship? The best match was the ambulance match. Worst match, all the other matches except for Natalya versus Nikki. Sigh, grumble, the Authority grumble. That's James's words for you. We also have some comments from Dane. From Ambrose lost on the ambulance match. We also have some thoughts from Dane Thrush on the Facebook page. He said the ending was stupid. The only thing that could have saved it was Sting. Ambrose is being used just to get people over, about ready to stop watching. Somebody got a text, and then finally David Richard, or in Louisiana we say Richard, put a comment, said Randy Orton needs to come back and take out Seth Rollins. And you know what? No, there were reports of Randy Orton returning at some house shows. Rick, I don't know if you know anything about this or not, but then there were also reports of Randy Orton getting injured at a house show as well.
I do have an update. Give me 1 second. I can give you a full update on that. The reports that Randy Orton needed to undergo a minor surgical operation on a deviated septum. Adult. As a result, Orton has been pulled from tonight's edition of Raw. Last night's Raw, and is not scheduled to attend any WWE live events until the Royal Rumble.
Ouch.
So yes, he's got out for a couple more weeks.
Yeah, that's just, again, very unfortunate for those timing. But anyway, guys and gals, it is now time to go into our overall scores and our picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw. The very first Monday Night Raw of 2015 was complete and utter garbage. I don't know why WWE went the route that they did. And I got to agree with what James said. They could have started, building an angle for Sting and Triple H, whether it be at Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. Either one of those scenarios are feasible, but it didn't happen. There was no appearance by Sting, no furthering the angle from Sting's appearance at Survivor Series. Now that the Authority is back in power, and we kind of went the way it went. Now we kind of figured that the other members of Team Cena would get screwed over, and then they would follow through from what they originally planned. They were going to fire the other members of Team Cena, and they did. They fired them. And again, when wrestling becomes predictable, ladies and gentlemen, it becomes boring. And so far, the main roster product has just become so predictable. It's disheartening. And the only thing right now that's really been saving WWE, in my opinion, is the NXT product. But I will say this, main event last week, with the way they opened up that show, especially with the NXT Women's Champion Charlotte and Sasha Banks, A+ in my opinion. But and I hope they do something tonight like that on a main event, where they highlight 2 NXT stars and have them come out and perform in front of the bigger, larger crowd to start getting them over more and more. And I will say this, though. I'm really going to look forward to what they do on NXT this week, especially with the return of the NXT champion, Sami Zayn. But anyway, overall score on Monday Night Raw this week, as much as I want to, I can't give it a 3. I can't even give it a 3.5. I have to go lower. I have to go 2.5. The ambulance match indeed was the best match of the night. Worst segment of the night, the John Cena celebration. Just for the predictability factor. It was so damn predictable what they were going to do. Everybody saw it a mile away. That they weren't going to suspend them. They were going to fire them. And that's exactly what they did. Was there an appearance by Sting? No. Were a lot of fans pissed off? Yes. Are a lot of fans about to stop watching Monday Night Raw? Hell no. Because you're even though you're a WWE fan, you're complaining about the product. Here's the thing. We're still talking about the product. That's the key thing there. We're watching to see if WWE will finally turn the piece of shit product they have right now around. Because right now, with TNA going to the smaller channel, Discovery, Destination America, they're not really much of a threat to their product, in my opinion. But that's just been my opinion. Let's go to Rick and get his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week. Rick?
Well, as far as the Sting issue, I think a lot of people are really looking for Sting way too soon. Sting is not going to come around until at least the Royal Rumble. Sting, he's a part-time player. And
I just thought about what you were saying about Royal Rumble. If they since they included Seth Rollins in the main event, there is also the possibility of Sting appearing in that match and screwing Seth Rollins over in that match.
It's a possibility, but I think that Sting. Yeah, I mean it's a very good thought, because that's the role that he's been playing lately to justify things. So again, that's the time to tell. But I mean, Sting only comes on the main stages now. He might come on after the Royal Rumble, maybe the Raw after Royal Rumble, because that always seems to be one of the bigger shows. But after that, I don't see it, because that's the true road to Royal Rumble. Right now, we're kind of just getting geared up for it. The best match, yes, was the ambulance match between Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt. Even though it's become repetitive, it was one of the better matches, sad to say. As far as Dolph Ziggler, Eric Rowan, and Ryback getting fired, as predictable as it was, it's predictable that they're going to get rehired by John Cena in some form or fashion within the next couple of weeks. This is, in reality, probably their vacation time coming up. So, we know that they're going to get their day off, They'll probably get a Raw off, and we'll see them in 2 weeks.
What if William Regal hires them on NXT? Wouldn't that be laughable?
That would be laughable. So, as far as the score, yeah, I got to give it a 2 out of 5. It was pretty sad.
Yeah, definitely. But then again, when we started talking about Sting, we started talking about Seth Rollins in the Royal Rumble. That's when the thought came to me about Sting, being the vigilante. I mean, if he did it at Survivor Series, would also have him do it at the Royal Rumble. I would not be surprised to see that whatsoever. Up next is Lance with his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week. Lance?
I give it a 1. This show sucked. And, well, this has Vince booking all over it. The only good match was the ambulance match. Everything else, pure crop.
Exactly. And like I said, it's been sad as of late on the main roster. And again, they need to do 2 things. 1, they need to build up the Ascension properly. And 2, they need to do more with their better talented divas, i.e. Paige. Even though Nikki Bella is also easy on the eyes to see. I'll tell you that right now. But anyway, finally...
one last thing. This might be something for like a discussion video or for HWR either way. This shows how Vince craps on NXT talent that comes from NXT. Well, the guys.
Yeah.
Because look what he did to Fandango, Adam Rose, and now the Ascension.
Yeah. Or as I call Demolition 2K15.
But Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, however, have done extremely well, and they're from NXT. Even we can even say they're also from Florida Championship Wrestling, the promotion that it was before NXT took over. And I still say this: NXT is the saving grace of WWE.
Yeah.
And so
but
Cartman,
we all know Vince hates NXT or the actual product.
Yeah, because it's a much more entertaining product than what they're doing on the main roster.
Oh, it does not work.
And finally, guys and gals, we're going to go to Cartman and get his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week. Cartman?
I can't even give it a 1. It was that bad. It was just garbage. The best match was the ambulance match, even though that was the worst match between Bray Wyatt and Ambrose. It was the worst match you've seen from them. That show was just garbage. And like you said about TNA going to the smaller network, that's, I think, why the WWE shows have been turning to crap, is because they don't have any competition, so they can say, oh, well, fuck it, nobody's going to challenge us for ratings, we might as well just make it as shitty as possible, because nobody cares.
And a lot of people feel it's the same direction that they're going when the WWE and Vince McMahon purchased WCW, and they really had no competition with them, and that's why they went to segregated brandings with Raw and SmackDown, and even at that time, it wasn't working.
It worked for a little while. Then they started swapping like the brands,
mingling talent.
Yeah.
It was just different show titles, but same group of talent on each.
Yeah. Well, anyway, guys and gals, what we want to know now from you guys out there, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week? Your reactions to the Authority firing Ziggler, Ryback, and Eric Rowan. Your thoughts about the apparent face turn of Paige, and definitely we want to know your thoughts on the ambulance match, as Cartman is ever so excited about that, between Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt. We definitely want to know what you guys out there have to say. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Rick, where can fans check you out on HWR?
As always, you can always check us out on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And now, check us out on HardcoreWrestlingRadio.com. And if you want to check us out on any other social media sites, just look us up on HWR Show. That's YouTube, Daily Motion, and also catch a ride on SoundCloud.com.
Lance, what can fans expect to see when they come visit your channel over on YouTube.com/LanceMossTV? Lance, hello.
Sorry, I fell asleep thinking about last night's show.
Okay.
Anyway, I got album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck corner cooking videos, musical equipment reviews, some rants, and starting here in a couple of weeks, I will have the archives of controversies and scandals from Hardcore Wrestling Radio.
Oh, sorry. I fell asleep thinking about last night's show as well. And Cartman, right now, you're kind of in YouTube limbo, man. I know you have a YouTube channel, but you really haven't decided what to do with it yet.
Yeah, I'm still kind of trying to figure out what I want to do with my channel. Eventually, I'll probably start up back on there, but just trying to figure out when.
Play Five Nights at Freddy's, man. I'll tell you that. That'll get you some views. It'll get you some views, man. It'll scare you shitless, man, but it'll get you some views. And because Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is actually coming out not too. They're really blowing. They're actually blowing through that. Anyway, guys and gals, if you're listening on Spreaker.com, be sure you hit that follow button if you like what you hear, and also don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Facebook.com/WGS-TV, and don't forget to please subscribe to YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and YouTube.com/ZFXTV Network if you haven't already. So for the hardcore host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Rick Hidd, the incomparable Lance Moss, and the always tired Cartman, I am the WrestleGamer. Don't be believers saying thank you very much for tuning in.